Happy Monday, everyone. Hopefully you had a blessed Monday. Hopefully you had a blessed weekend, a relaxing weekend, also one that was maybe productive. Guys, so excited for today's guest, so excited for today's show. It's the last episode of season 2. It's crazy to think we've gone through another 12 episodes, another 12 inspiring guests have come and sat here at this desk with me. TV stars, movie stars, an Olympian, a gold medalist, all sharing inspiring stories of obstacles that they've overcome, helping you guys relate to their lives and their journeys, and hopefully giving you some encouragement to continue on yours and to reach some success. As you know, I always like to kind of give a little bit at the beginning to offer some encouragement of what's going on in the world. And for that, I turned to social media this week. And it's something that I saw that kind of, irked me a little bit. And I want to offer some encouragement is obviously social media and Twitter. It's an easy place to offer criticism. You have 280 characters to just say whatever you want. People don't see you actually saying it. And I noticed something this week between Kanye and someone that he praised who was not like Kanye. It was a girl named Candace Owens, and he said, I like the way she thinks. 7 words, and it really just lit a firestorm because people say, how dare you side with that person? And I want to encourage you guys, it's okay to say something nice about someone that has opposing views, someone that you might not always agree with. It's okay to say something nice. Find that common ground. And I'm reminded of a quote from Rick Warren who says, quote, "Our culture has accepted 2 huge lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that if you love someone, that means that you agree with everything they believe and do. Both are nonsense. You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate." So please find some common ground with someone who you don't agree with. That's the way that we can show love to them. That's the way that we can all come together and make this world a better place. Our guest today certainly is, igniting people all across both spectrums, no matter what they believe in. She has certainly brought them together. Her videos are incredible on Instagram, going out to her 1.9 million followers. Each gets more than 1 million views. Her choreography, her dance, but she is also an actress who has starred in TV shows and movies. TNT's The Last Ship. She's been in Step Up on YouTube Red. She's been in Batman vs. Superman. Incredibly talented young lady. Please welcome Jade Chynoweth. Jade, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here, and it's great weather, so there's nothing to be mad about.
Right. It's hard to, even when things are down here in Southern California, you go outside and it's 75 or 80 degrees. It's pretty nice, right?
Exactly. It just puts a smile on your face.
Do you do a lot of dancing outside? I know a lot of your stuff is in the studio. You need to have one with like a retractable roof.
Exactly. I should do that. In my next apartment, I'm going to install like a freaking window ceiling. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. For people who don't know, follow you away from the show on Instagram at JadeBug98, on Twitter at Jade Chynoweth. You're also on YouTube posting your videos. If you guys want to follow me after the show, you can do that at The Only MC on Instagram and on Twitter, and certainly Popcorn Talk Network. We're so grateful to be here at the Popcorn Talk on Instagram and on Twitter. People who don't know your videos, I want to be able to show a clip or a couple clips to them to be able to show just how talented you are. We got one we're going to start playing here.
Sounds good.
Is it amazing to think how many people are seeing your videos? I mean, hundreds and thousands and millions of people.
It's crazy because it's nothing that I ever set out to do. I never was going after the following or the views. It was just something that I loved, and I always knew that whatever I chose to do in life, whatever my passion was and whatever I went with, I wanted it to affect people. And like, that's the coolest part about it, is that I'm reaching people and people are being inspired. It's still crazy that I see that number every day. I've never really been like, oh my gosh, followers, but like it's crazy, and I'm just really grateful for it, if anything.
So you look at this, how long does it take for something like this, a video, to get put together? People see the minute-long clip. What goes into a video like this?
Well, every class is about an hour and a half usually, or it's either an hour and a half, or 2 hours, but most commonly an hour and a half. You have like 45 minutes to learn the dance, and then you start doing groups, so it's in smaller, so you have more room to dance. And then if the choreographer likes what you're doing, she'll call you out, or he'll call you out and have you go out and do it, either with other people or by yourself, and that's kind of what happens there. So you have that 45 minutes and then the 30-ish minutes to dance.
Going into the class, do you know any of the choreography or what the song or anything is?
You learn everything there.
Really?
I mean, you can always ask if you have a relationship with the choreographer, like, hey, what's the vibe for tonight? What are we going for? I tend to do that just because I like to dress up for class. So I like my outfit to be appropriate. But you don't know any of the combos unless you're assisting them, and that's your job is to be the assistant and show the choreography. But most of the time, no.
So is it all choreographed, or is there any where you're stepping out and just adding a little flair?
There's a lot of steps that they'll have that they're like, okay, now do whatever arms or whatever vibe you want on this. And then at the end of every choreography, there's usually like a solid amount of freestyle at the end where you just do whatever you
Now, be
like.
honest, can anyone dance like this? And I'm not just asking for myself, because obviously I can't. But can anyone else dance like this or learn to dance like this?
Oh, 100%. I mean, everyone starts from the ground up, and I did too. I just started a little bit earlier, so I guess that's why people are like, she's so young, like it's impossible. But I just started so young. But there's so many people in the industry that have become huge, amazing choreographers and dancers that started older than I am now, and they're still killing it, and they're more talented, and I look up to them. So it's definitely possible if you put in the work to anything. I think you can achieve anything.
We talked about the connection with your fans, and I know that's something that you said you want to be able to bring joy into their lives and be able to help them out. How is that important to you, and what do you do? I mean, I know you're a lot on Instagram Live. What kind of videos do you do there, and what do you learn from that and hear from people?
I guess I am really just trying to give off my most genuine self on my Instagram. I don't ever want to portray something fake, because that's what will really get your audience to more gravitate towards you, is when you're genuine and you are really just being yourself and being something new and fresh that they haven't seen. And I think I do that by giving them dance videos and taking class and really showing my emotion and my expressions through those dances. And yes, I try to do like live stories and Instagram stories and answer questions and respond to comments so that everyone really feels that I'm engaged with them, because they're obviously giving me that energy, and I feel like it's my job to give it back, because you want a relationship with the people. That's the cool thing about social media.
It's
you get
incredible.
to know so many people without actually face-to-face knowing them.
And 1.9 million followers on Instagram.
It's
Again,
crazy.
that's mind-blowing.
It is really mind-blowing. I really never thought that was what was going to go on in my life.
Do you care about the views? I mean, is that something that you think about, of like, oh, I'm putting this out there and I want it to get so many, or you just hope that it just catches fire?
I feel like I'm not super hard on the whole Instagram thing of like, oh, and I didn't get as much. But you also have to utilize what we're given. And I feel like dancers especially haven't really had the limelight. We're always dancing behind people, and that's like the goal is to become a backup dancer.
Yeah.
So I feel like we might as well utilize this tool that we're given to really become our own stars and our own performers and our own people and have our own following. So I'm all about utilizing it to the best of our abilities and really showcasing ourselves and putting ourselves out there in that sense. But at the same time, if people don't like my picture as much, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know? Of course, you want it to continue to keep growing, but I don't want that to be because of things like because I had to hang out with certain people or do a certain class. I just want it to be because I am me and they actually genuinely like what I'm doing.
And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said a lot of people, think of dancers and choreography and they think of people in the background. And Instagram has changed that so much.
Oh, 100%.
On the Explore page, I'll be going through and it'll say dance video, and it's like all of them are getting...
So many dancers.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of views, and I think really allowing people to see the talent that dancers have.
Oh, for sure. And there's so many talented dancers too, and I feel like it's been cool to kind of like be a part of this generation and lead the dancers into this new era of social media. And it's cool to see it happening for so many other people too, and people that you respect. And it's of course there's different views of social media in the dance industry. There's always like the people who this isn't dance, this is not what we do, we're doing it for our own genuine expression. But I think people often get the misconception of social media has to change you. You have to become something, you have to put up this facade to get followers. But I don't necessarily think that's true because I didn't do it, and it worked for me, I guess. So I just think that you might as well give it a shot and utilize it. It's gonna if it can help you
Yeah.
make money and, really make this into a long-lasting career, you might as well take everything you can.
Have Instagram be a reflection of you, not the other way around.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
And
always.
one of the things that I know you're doing to connect with your fans is Fit to Be It. I know that's a great way that
Yes.
you're reaching out and being able to offer some of the things that people are asking for.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I started a website. It's called jade-chynoweth.com, if anyone is wondering. But it is my personal website. It's all my lifestyle videos, and I've also been in partnership with Fit to Be It. And that's something that really inspires me because being healthy and feeling strong and confident is important for everybody. If you're going to put yourself out there, you want your body to be work as great as it can. And for me, doing this project was really to give back to all the people supporting me, because that is my life. My life is dancing. My life is what I do on the daily basis. My life is fitness. So for me, giving that back to them was really important. And I wanted to really listen to what they had to say too. We actually had a questionnaire on there that they could ask, that they answered to me what Fit to Be It means to them. And I actually got emotional with some of the responses, knowing people's backgrounds and knowing the hard times that they've been through or the views that they have on themselves, good or bad. It was really touching that they would openly say that to me. So I immediately reached out to them and offered them these programs for free and was asking if I could really help them in this sense, because it's cool that people really can open up to someone that they don't know face to face, but I can also help them.
What were they saying? I mean, what are some of the things that they're
some of the
sharing
things
with
that
you?
they would share was just, they've never felt confident in their body, and they want Fit to Be It means that they're their happiest self. They appreciate their bodies for what they are. They feel healthy and strong. Some people had eating disorders before. Some people had bad self-body images. And whether or not you have this shape that you want, as long as you're feeling healthy and knowing that you're putting into your body what it deserves, and feeling good about yourself is what life's all about. To be happy is what the end goal is.
Yeah.
So for me, I was able to offer them these programs, and I am teaching them how to eat like me, how to do the workouts that I do, even how to dance with me, because we're actually putting out workshops for dancing that are my combos and other amazing choreographers in the industry. And actually coming soon, we have lowered the price a lot for the lifestyle subscription. It's only going to be $1.99 a month, which is a lot better than one.
That's like $24.
It's like, why not? Exactly.
Wow.
You pay $1.99 to get bonus coins on games on your app. So like you might as well.
Yeah.
And once you sign up for the membership, you'll get discounts on the other things. But I have ebooks like with cookbooks. I have how to eat books. And when you do the Fit to Be It lifestyle, it's cool because you actually log in what you want to eat and work out for the day. It'll give you a list so that you can kind of, you choose from what you like, and it will give you like one grain, like one poultry, meat, protein, one like the fat essentials and all those things, and then it will have your workout day to day based off what your goals are. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, if you want to gain weight in general, if you want to lean out, it has all of those options, which is the best part about it for me, because I know everyone has different body types, and it's hard to be like, oh, I'm going to do the same workout that my friend who we are completely different is doing. You're never going to have the same results. So it's very personalized, and that's what I really wanted to give back to them.
And it's a community.
Exactly. People can give back their feedback to me, which is super important, because I want to hear what people want to see. And even in the beginning, in our testing stages, they wanted to see more dance, so that's what I gave them, and they wanted it to be a little more affordable, because a lot of these people are teenagers out there, and they already have subscriptions to all these other things. So you might as well make it something that everyone can really feel like they're a part of, and I want everyone to feel safe in this and to feel like there's no judgments. And once they have their transformations, we've really pushed them to share it with us, and we'll post it on our website and give free giveaways every month for the people who are feeling like they're really doing it, especially with the dances. They can post their version of the choreography, and we'll pick a winner each month and give giveaways and things that I enjoy. Like I give a little gift package with things that I like to use or things that I like to do. And
fantastic.
Yeah,
and again,
make it personalized.
$1.99 a month. And what's the website one more time?
Fit to Be It. It's jade-chynoweth.com.
There we go, making it really easy. We'll definitely tweet about that.
Thank you.
Talking about, you started dancing at your young age. How young was that?
I think the first dance class my mom put me in was I was like 2 years old.
2?
My aunt had a studio, so I was of course not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
I was running around in a little tutu, and that was the best part about it. But I didn't really. I danced ever since I can remember. I actually had a choice at one time to do dance or gymnastics. I'm pretty sure I chose gymnastics, but I was so young that my mom was like, "We're not sitting through those meets. We're good. Like, you're gonna dance." Which now knowing, I still would choose dance.
It's worked out pretty well.
It has worked out pretty well. It's been a journey though. Everyone thinks just because of where I'm at now that it's been easy, and especially because I'm a younger age at where I'm at now, people think that I must have just had it handed to me. And even when we have Q&As with other amazing choreographers, they're like, and people ask questions about, how was it getting here? How was it? Da, da, da. And they're like, well, for some people, it's just like, it's natural for them. And I'm like, but no, that's not what it is. I just started so much younger, and I had to sacrifice different things than most people did. I was really lucky in the sense of having a family that was supportive. I know that can be hard for other people, but it's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, I had to give up school and give up that normal kid life to be able to travel because I couldn't sustain going to school and having the right amount of attendance and being able to know what the lessons are talking about. And I had to get tutoring on the road. I'd be doing it in the car. I'd be doing it on the way to a job. And I spent most of my life on an airplane or in a car driving back and forth from Utah to California or flying from Utah to California. And I mean, having my family though support me made it feel like I wasn't doing a job.
Yeah.
And I think that's what probably most people don't know this about me, because I never looked at it as a bad thing, because my parents really always made sure that it felt like the dream life rather than the sacrifice life. So to me, not going to school, I didn't really understand that it wasn't normal. Now looking back, of course, like, you want those normal high school experiences that everybody has, but they made it possible where I could go to dances, and every once in a while I'd keep my friends. And I mean, that's also friends. That's also one of the hardest parts about this industry is I had so many people that were close to me, and they were super supportive of my success until my success became a rival and a competition for them. Then you see people change, and you see people kind of distance themselves from you, and it gets really kind of lonely. Of course, I had my family, but you lose a lot of people on the journey, and you don't know who's really genuinely caring about you and who really wants you to make it, or what they're saying when you're gone. And I had to kind of isolate myself in the sense of I can't care what everyone thinks about me. And that's when I met people who don't care about what anybody else thinks about them. And then that's how you find the people that you kind of gel with and you vibe with. But I mean, I had to sleep on floors. I would sleep in my car with my mom. I shared a bed with my mom for 6 years, so shout out to my mom for sharing a bed with her child. She already went through those college days.
Was this on road trips, or where was this?
Road trips. It was coming to LA. I didn't have places to stay, so I'd have to find a last minute thing, and I would have to cancel school and fly out really quick just to get told that the audition was over, so I'd fly back. And I would sleep on, like, luckily I had people who would give their floor to me, but I would sleep with like little cats on the floor. You'd have they poop right next to you. It was gross. It wasn't like it wasn't the dream life, of course. And there were 6 people in a 1-bedroom apartment at one point, and there were 3 moms, and it gets a little hard, especially because they're grown women. They have their own lives, and they're sacrificing it to kind of go through the same thing that they've already been through. And I mean, yeah, sharing a bed with my mom, we got really close, but then again, you start feeling like you have to grow up faster. I think that's something that happened to me, is I definitely grew up faster. I feel like my brain is on a different level than my actual age of my body.
Yeah, because you've experienced so
I've
much.
experienced life at a young age. I've had to go through, harder things, and it's been hard not seeing my family too, and I am positive about it, but of course I would have liked to have kept relationships closer with certain people, and being able to be there for birthdays and be there for graduations. And I've missed so many things in my family's lives that's also what's pushing me to work harder now, is so that I can give back to them for everything that they've sacrificed for me.
What is going through your mind when you're a young child and you know the dream and the goal that you're pushing towards, but then you're experiencing the day-to-day of sleeping on a couch, of sleeping in a car? What is going through your mind when you're sleeping on that floor?
For me, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was so cool that I could come out here, and that I didn't even know when I was dancing in Utah that this was even a possibility, that LA was even a thing. I knew that you could be a background dancer, but I didn't know the training that was out here, the opportunity that was out here, having, you know, agents and managers. It was kind of all Hollywood movie type thing. I didn't really realize that it was possible for everyone. I thought if you just took a certain path, that's how you get there. And it's different for everybody, but I guess I just was super excited about the opportunity, and my mom always made sure that I was comfortable in every situation. She never put me in something that I'd be uncomfortable in, so I never viewed it as a bad thing.
How do you look back on that now and see that it has maybe benefited you?
I 100% think it benefited me. It is harder for people to appreciate things when they're handed to them. It's made me realize that everyone comes from different backgrounds, and it makes me realize how far I have come even from then, of being able to now financially support myself, when before we were wondering how we were going to send me out to LA. My family was going to send me out to LA. Now I can do it myself. And that's the craziest part, is I never thought I was so expensive, like everything.
Yeah.
I learned money things at a very young age. I learned how to, you know, be able to financially support myself, how much it cost. Normally you don't have to worry about that at that age. You're just, you know, enjoying the ride. But I think overall it's humbled me and made me more grounded, because ultimately being a nice person, a good person, is what it's all about. And I feel like a lot of the times it can get to people's head, the success can get to people's heads and change them. And I've seen it all the time. LA is the #1 place for it, because everyone's going after the same dream, and they feel like they have to act or be a certain way to get there because everyone else is doing it. And I feel like that's the best compliment I ever received, was that, Jade, you're the same person I met when you were 12 years old. Like, that is ultimately the best thing, because I want people to know that I'm a genuine, nice person. Obviously,
Yeah.
I have my feisty side and my competitive side, but the competition isn't with other people. It's only with myself, and I feel like people can have that misconception. Even with dance videos, I'm portrayed as this certain thing up there. People a lot of times think I'm super serious and like sassy, but I'm not. I'm like a total goofball, and I'm nature head. I'm hippie at life, you know, like sporty, but people don't get to see that side of you. So I just try to make that everyone aware that I am still that same person, and I want my family to always know that when I come back, I'm that same person.
Yeah.
I guess they're the best people to judge that.
And I think that's what you do in your live Instagram videos and the other content that you provide through Fit to Be It, and just showing people that other side to say, yes, dance is what I do, and for a certain part it is who I am, but it doesn't define me.
Exactly. It will never define you. Everyone's something more than what they portray on Instagram. There's so many layers to a person, their job, who they are when they're not doing things. Like, you have so many different sides of you, and I always want people to know that I'm not just one thing. I have multiple sides to me, and everyone does.
Starting at age 2, we've talked about your journey. Has there ever been a break, or literally has it been since age 2 that you've been taking classes, doing performances on that grind?
I guess I didn't go out to LA until I was 12.
Okay.
So from 2 and on, I was just doing the dance competition life. I was, I would go to school all day, and then straight from school, I'd go to dance. And that would be until like midnight. And my mom actually had to work at the studio to be able to afford me taking dance classes, because eventually I had to move studios from my aunt's studio to something that was closer and had more of the opportunity that I was seeking out. But I trained every day. I danced every day, and I just thought that was it. And I thought,
how many hours is that a day?
When I was younger, I would probably dance from 4 p.m. until 12, so 6 to 8 hours a day.
When you're in your like 8, 9, 10?
Yeah, that was the prime time. Yeah,
Man.
It was crazy. I never thought it was crazy, though, because it was fun for me. I remember falling asleep doing homework all the time, but it's not. There's so many kids that do that life that we just don't know about. It's a whole different life, the dance competition life. So it wasn't ever like, oh, I'm doing more than everybody else. I knew so many other people that were doing it. But when I was around 11, I went to this dance convention. there's these conventions that are every weekend. They travel to different cities, and it was called the Pulse on Tour. It had all the major choreographers in LA: Brian Friedman, Mia Michaels, Lorianne Gibson, Dave Scott, like all these crazy people, Ty Stewart, that do all the tours, all the music videos, all the movies that feature dance. And I got a scholarship where I could assist them throughout the whole next year. I'd be the assistant on stage. So that was my breakthrough point. I didn't realize it. Most people don't. It depends what you want to do with it after, but I got to assist all these choreographers weekly, and that's when I think I grew the most in my skill set. That's when I grew the most, not necessarily opportunity-wise, but as a dancer, I became a whole nother thing, and I think that really took me to the next level, just being put on that pressure to know that I'm demonstrating it for the rest of the convention where there's thousands of kids. And I had older people in the older rooms that I would look up to and know that I wanted to be like that. And one of them actually made like a little dance crew, and we auditioned for America's Best Dance Crew, and that was my first real trip to LA. And I was like, oh my gosh.
First thoughts, real. First impressions when you see LA.
It's like a vacation all the time. There's palm trees. It's warm all the time. I'm having winter, and I'm over here in the sun, like tanning, and there's a beach, and there's classes for days. So many people that I see in videos that I never even thought I'd be able to meet in person, and I'm taking their class. And we didn't end up making it onto the show that season, but it got me started. And from there, I got my first job through a friend that I met on the convention, and it was for the 2011 Kids' Choice Awards. I got to dance with Jack Black. It was insane. And even if you look back at the kids that did that job with me, there was Cameron Boyce, and now he's this huge actor. He's on Disney Channel. He was in Adam Sandler's movies. And then there's Cameron Bickendova, who is now Catwoman on Gotham. It's just crazy to see where everyone goes. But at the time, we were just kids like, oh my gosh, it's Jack Black. I totally embarrassed myself, too. I went up to him, and I, like, put my hand on the wall, and I was like, these are my stretchy pants. And I, like, clenched my butt, and no one got it except for him. But at least he got it.
In front of him?
In front of him. My mom was like... I was such a tomboy, too. I was always in basketball shorts, you know, like one of the guys. So, you know, I've grown since there, from that point. But that job got me my agency, which was amazing. And they obviously sent me out on many auditions. And I did a lot of things like the VMAs for Britney Spears. I did the Britney tribute. I got to be her little mini-me in one of her music videos. I did another Kids' Choice Awards. I did multiple music videos. And then from there, I got a management. And I'm still with him now, and he's the best. Shout out to BTB Management. The one. They got me my acting agency as well. And my first acting job was 300 Rise of an Empire. Didn't even know it was for 300 because it was, you know, kind of undercover. Like, you don't know what you're auditioning for. They don't want it to get out. They told me to prepare a fight scene and to have a little scene where, like, I pretend like I'm trapped and I can't get out, but no words, right? It was just a quiet scene. So I'm like, okay. I remember a girl walks in with a sword. I'm like, why is she bringing a sword? And then they're 300, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, well,
sword.
That would be why there's a sword.
I probably should have brought a sword. But it was so cool because it was this intimate audition, and I had to do my fight scene in literally a square, and I had flips in it. I was prepared. I was going to do everything. I'm going to book this job. And it was cool because when I booked it and they told me it was 300, not only was I excited that I booked my first acting job, but when I got to tell my brothers and my dad that it was for 300,
goodness, yes.
Oh my gosh, they flipped out. It was because I grew up on that, even though I couldn't watch some of the scenes, but I grew up on that stuff, like Troy, like all those action films. It's always been
so
something
good.
I wanted to do. That's what I did when I was younger. I played pretend all the time. My Barbies had swords. Like, they weren't conventional Barbies. They were kicking butt and playing with bionicles and stuff. That was my route. But it's been cool that every job that I've booked has to do with what I'm interested in and what I really want in the future, because then after that I got The Last Ship, and I played one of the main character's daughters, and I got to shoot guns, and I got to have army training. And
right up your alley.
Oh my gosh, it was the best. Even the sword training for 300, it was a week long, and it was like a freaking treat for me.
Do you remember
I loved going there.
If you got into a fight with someone in an alley in LA, would they lose?
If I had a sword, they'd lose.
Okay.
Even I've done some fight training too.
Okay.
I did this little video for Instagram with one of my good friends, Derek Pueblo. He is based in Utah, and he wanted to basically shoot a scene from a movie so that someone would potentially pick it up to make it the whole movie. And it was great because I got to work with Lily Singh.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and she was the comedian. Oh my gosh, she's hilarious. But it's basically a little scene of her and I shopping in a mall, and these guys are coming behind us, and we're like, we think they're hitting on us, instead of them actually. It's quite obvious that they're not hitting on us, but we don't get it, right? So we come in, and they follow us into the store, and they're like, we need to talk with you. And I'm like, yeah, is that what you use on all the girls? Like, it's like, and then they start putting their hand on my shoulder, and I just go off and kick all their butts. It's great. It's literally like my dream. And I got to have all this training, and we did all the stunts were done by me, and that's what's been cool is every time I've done anything, I've gotten to do my own stunts, because that's what I ultimately want to do. Is I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when. When I make it, I am going to do all my stunts. I want to be able to not have anybody do them for me. I want to say it's fully mine, and I enjoy it too. I have a huge respect for stunt people though, because after that job, I didn't realize how bad everything hurt.
Yeah,
it hurts.
The next day,
get kicked,
2 days
like,
later,
even though it's in a good spot, you know, I had like a goose egg on. I chipped my tooth. I hurt my ankle really bad. It was just like. And this is just one job, one scene, you know, but it was one of the best videos I have ever done, and I still can use it for like my reel and everything today, and have that training in my back pocket, and yeah, it's just been great. And then I got to book Step Up, and being able to be, that was my first lead job, right?
Combines both
dance
your passions.
and acting. That's what I was really scared about with acting, was even though dancing wasn't what I wanted as my career, it was something that I'm always going to be passionate about. I always want it in my life, and I was like, oh, when I book something and I have to leave, I'm not going to be able to dance. So I got this job, and it's my first lead role, and I get to do both. It was perfect, and it turned out great too. And you know, dancing mixed with acting can become cheesy, but I feel like they really took a fresh perspective on it by putting it in a school, because that makes sense while we're dancing. It makes sense while we'll randomly, like, you know, like be in the studio dancing, not just random dancing somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
That's on YouTube, right? It's 10 episodes. It just came out earlier this year.
Yes, it's 10 episodes. They're 60 minutes long, like an hour a minute. Yeah.
And that's season 1. Is there talks for season
1.
2
there
or
is talks
3,
for
or
season
what can
2.
you give us?
I can't give anything. I'm sorry, but it's cool. It's amazing. I feel like the reviews have been really great, and the feedback has been great, and we've gotten so many fans of it, and I think that it's really gonna do something great. It's hard because with YouTube Red, I feel like we're the guinea pig show with, you know, trying to establish that YouTube has series now, and it has this whole nother, like, let's say Netflix side of it, where you can get your own shows and you can get your own anything, you know. And I feel like you'll start picking up speed and getting more audience and viewers.
You're not the guinea pig, you're the point of the spear.
We are the point of the spear. We are the stars. I'd like to say.
You're talking about that you haven't had a break then since age 2. Have you experienced burnout? Has there been a time where you think, I want to step away from it all. I want to take a couple-month break, a 6-month, a year, just an extended period to not do this all the time? It
gets hard. It gets a lot. You're constantly under pressure. I feel like, even, you know, with the friend thing I said, it's hard. You don't know who you can trust, especially now being older. I feel like it's gotten harder just because I'm more aware of it. I'm more aware that, oh, that person doesn't like me. Before I was just like, yeah, you know, I don't know, everyone likes me. And being able to know that, like, I have to financially support myself if something's not going on. I have to make something happen for myself. But I feel like the burnout is kind of, I went through a stage of it probably when I was younger, but my mom was so good at making bringing normal life stuff to me. We always would we'd get to go to theme parks a lot. I had my friend group when I was younger, and she'd always let me have sleepovers and make it feel as normal as possible. So that wasn't as hard for me, but I remember being like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to dance like this all the time. And I think that's when I kind of transitioned into acting. And I think that's kind of given me a balance, is having two things that I can go after rather than it just being all dance and taking the fun out of dance by being like, I have to make money from this. This is a job rather than something I love. And I am very good at making myself have that relaxation time. I'm all about, having both sides of it, making sure everything is balanced. I'm all about the balanced lifestyle. I'm always the first to be like, I'm not doing anything today. I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the movies. And now
Do you have Movie Pass?
I don't have Movie Pass.
I don't either, so I can't make you feel bad about it. I'm just.
But we should both get it together.
Done.
Okay, done. Awesome. I'm gonna do it. That's kind of a bad idea though because I love movies. I feel like they're also like training though. For me, I view movies totally different.
That's the attitude to have.
Yes.
See, you're not going for entertainment alone. Mom, this is work.
Exactly. I'm working.
Makes sense.
Do not disturb. I'm working. Really. But I love them, and I do see them a lot differently since I've gotten into the acting industry. Like, seeing their choices and how they handle each scene or the character, and knowing the actor and seeing them in different things and then seeing them in other shows. It's awesome. But ultimately, I'm really good at balancing out my life. I want to travel, so I started traveling, and in order to be able to pay for it as well, I'm teaching as I'm doing it. But it still allows me to feel like I'm getting a break away from the LA scene at least. I'm out experiencing life, what I would want to do normally, and I'm making money doing it. And I take time for myself a lot. That's why I have fitness in my life too. I love hiking. I love being outdoors, and that's a really kind of a break for me, is being able to go and detach from LA.
What is the biggest thing in high school? Obviously, you were really traveling out here that you wish that you were able to partake in when you were actually in high school. In the high school experience.
I mean, I did online school, so I guess actually going to school would have been nice. And I look at it now, and I look at the problems that I had even when I was doing dance competitions. I'm like, those are nothing.
They're not.
Just being able to feel like the worst thing I have to do is a paper would be great. That would have been amazing. And just even though I feel like I have the friends that I want and need right now, building that relationship and keeping even stronger friendships with the people from Utah would have been great. And for me, it wasn't even school as much as being more around my family, getting to be around my grandparents and my cousins and watching them grow up and being with my family is the most important thing to me. I got to go to a couple of dances, so I didn't miss out on that.
Awesome.
And I still have a lot of my close friends from Utah, so it was great. I also went to a performing arts school that was the school part was online, and then you'd attend for the dancing and the singing and the acting.
Awesome.
And it would count when I would go to LA. So I made a lot of close friends when I was there too. Kind of gave it more that normal school vibe, even though who really does a performing arts school and has to do their school online? No one. But it still gave that same feeling. I had my friends. I had, dance in school, and
you knew at that point that you were investing in your future.
Exactly. And that I think when I was around 14, 15, that's when I was like, yep, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing.
This is when I realized the sacrifices that I'm making, but I'm making them for a reason.
Exactly. It started clicking more that this was not fantasy land, that it's actually, something that's going to become my life.
A lot of dancers, a lot of people, a lot of girls, especially young girls, they deal with issues of appearance.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine that is something that you maybe went through. Again, I think a lot of girls went through that and still go through that. How do you combat that? People looking at you and whatever you're wearing and possibly judging you, or you telling yourself that they might be judging you.
Right.
How do you combat that, especially in today's world?
Yeah, today's world's hard, even more so because there's social media, so you're literally putting yourself out there. For me, I think it was great that I was raised with brothers because they have more of that carefree spirit. Things aren't as serious as you think they are. They wouldn't let me get dramatic about certain things that I might have normally done if I was allowed to, I mean, everyone has their internal problems, and of course I'm like, ew, I hate this part of myself, I don't like this part of myself, but for the most part, I I've learned to not care what people think. That's how I've battled it. Like, I care in the sense I will always respect people and value, constructive criticism, but who's to say I'm not enough of this and I'm not enough of that? Even when I'm dancing, I'm not dancing in the sense for other people to appease them. I'm dancing to convey a message and to portray what I'm feeling. It's more for yourself to then affect other people rather than being like, I'm going to impress this person. Oh gosh, they saw me mess up. For me, you just have to realize that you are worth it, and there's anything you put your mind to, you can change naturally. And with self-body images, it's most important to be happy. If starving yourself isn't going to make you happy.
No.
You have to be healthy too, and being healthy will ultimately make your life better. When you're happy, your image of yourself is so much better. And I feel like even with being judged by other people, the acting is prime for that. You go in to basically be told what you are and what you're not. And you're not right for this part because you're not skinny enough or you're not blonde enough, but I can dye my hair. They don't care. You're not tall enough, you're this or this. And you just got to take everything with a grain of salt. Know that things are meant to come your way. If they happen, it's meant to be. If they don't happen, it's also meant to be. And as long as you surround yourself with people who motivate you and inspire you and push you to be better, but also make you feel great about yourself, I think that's the best thing to do, is to surround yourself with great people, but also to love yourself enough to not depend on the love of other people.
Yes.
That's the most important. So finding your inner beauty and knowing your worth and knowing that you can literally accomplish anything you put your mind to helps a lot with that. It gives you this inner self-confidence that doesn't come across as arrogance. People are worried about coming across arrogant, like, oh, I can't act like I'm this because people will not like me. You can act like that, but as long as you're a great person, it won't come across the wrong way.
And it's okay not to develop that attitude overnight because it takes time.
Oh, it does. It 100% does. And it took time for me. 14, 15, you're like developing into your body. You don't know what's going on. And my roommate and I are complete opposites. She's 5'10", beautiful blonde model body. I am always been the short, muscular, stocky tomboy, like complete opposites. And I had to learn that it was okay, because not that I ever felt competition to her, but I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat that, or like, why am I look like this but she doesn't, and we ate the same thing. You just gotta learn that
Both
everyone's
are beautiful.
different. Exactly. Everything's beautiful, and you can make your body strong and healthy, and that's the most important part. Healthy equals happy. Happy equals great life. So, yes, that's what it's all about.
Fantastic attitude. What drives you in everything that you do, in dance and acting, in the life that you lead, and how busy you are? What drives you to keep going?
I'm a very competitive person with myself. So I think what drives me is knowing that I can be better than I was today, better than I was yesterday. And I watch all my dance videos back, like even a couple months back, and I'll be like, am I better? If the answer is no, then I know I can become better. It's possible for everybody. And I feel like also for me, knowing that I can literally make anything possible, I feel like with these talk shows, seeing people's backgrounds, knowing where they came from, or just doing your research on other people's lives and getting to know them and their journey, you really can make anything happen for yourself. And that's the coolest part, is what is meant to be will be, but you can also change that. You can become whatever you want. And even from where I came from till now, it's a huge testament of it. I am so inspired by my past and where I'm at now that I can keep going forward. And it's always, you have to put those positive energies and those positive words into your body and your mindset, because if you tell yourself negative things, that's what will take you down. It's ultimately you that's going to get you there, and you just have to empower yourself. And I think that I feel empowered seeing other people succeed. I don't feel like it's taken away from me, and I feel empowered knowing that I have already made changes. So I think just being positive and knowing that anything's possible is what motivates me.
In 30, 40, 50 years, a question that I love to ask is, in 30, 40, 50 years, when you've achieved, a bunch of success and you look back on your life and other people look back on your life, what is 3 things that you want people to look at your life and be able to take from it?
I want people to look back and see that I have inspired people with my work. I used it for the right reason. That I used my talent for the right purpose. I want people to also see that I never held back. I took full opportunity of everything that came my way. And I also want people to see that I am a loving and genuine person. And I want them to see that I have these great relationships in my life and that ultimately I'm a good person. So, yes, inspire. What was the second thing I said? I don't even know. Being a genuine person and someone that never backed away from a challenge.
What advice then do you have for other people? I mean, you can literally address people right now, and any girl who's on the path that you were on, who's putting in the effort and maybe is like, man, I'm practicing 6-8 hours a night, and man, I'm exhausted, and is this worth it? Or the guy who's doing the same thing, or no matter if it's dance or whatever, what advice and encouragement do you have for them?
I think overall with any occupation that like you decide to go after, I would just say that be patient. Patience is key. Things don't come overnight, like you said. They take time. Those 6 and 8 hours will benefit you in the future. You might not see it today. You might not see it tomorrow. But knowing that you can accomplish these things, I am a testament of it. I was not born an amazing dancer. I had to work for it. And there's so many other people that you may look up to in whatever industry that you're in that did not start off amazing. And you can do anything that you want to do. You just have to keep going. Don't let yourself get down. LA's like a big, huge filter system. It filters out the weak from the strong, and it's all in your head. It's your mind that needs to be strong, not just your body. And ultimately, if you put your mind to it and keep going and maybe take a no as a great thing, as I was not meant to have that, something bad could have happened, or it wasn't right for me, it was someone else's time, and making those no's and building it up, and that yes will feel so much better. That booking of a job will feel so much better. That I remembered every step in a dance will feel so much better. So just keep going, and keep your mind and your energy and your positivity with yourself in line. I think that's the most important thing.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I love that. And I love that you looked right in the camera and literally addressed people, because anyone's watching is really felt that. I mean, I felt like you were talking to me, and it's just so encouraging.
Thank you.
Next couple months, next year or two, what are the goals? What do you want to achieve, and what does that look like for you?
I am still working on becoming what I want to be. So auditioning is definitely in the process. I'm still doing that with acting, and I've really dedicated this year to traveling. So
where? Where do you want to go? Where
all
have
over the
you
world.
been?
I think I've been almost everywhere in the United States.
Okay.
So I want to experience other cultures, experience other life. I'm actually going to Argentina in a couple of days.
Fun.
I know. I'm super excited. And then I get to go to Australia, and
that's awesome.
I went to Amsterdam this past year too, and I went to China. I just really want to take everything in. I think that will help me, grow as a person too, to know where other people come from and to experience life. I would never want to leave this earth knowing I didn't get to see everything. So
it's so much fun to go to a place where you don't know anything and you just
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just gotta roll with it, go with the flow.
My goodness, it's something that people think, but I'm gonna be in a place where I don't know anyone and it's gonna be intimidating, and I think that's a good lesson in general.
I mean, have somebody you're comfortable with maybe going with.
Obviously that does help, but I mean nowadays especially, like, you can be dropped in a place and you can figure it out.
Exactly. We bought these.
Exactly. I remember I went to Tokyo to visit my brother like 2 years ago, coming up on 2 years, and he had to work a lot of the time. So it was just me in Tokyo, never been to Asia before, didn't speak Japanese, and it was a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get places. And Fuji, this is Mount Fuji. This is it. No, but they don't. Where are you trying to go? Fuji. Fuji. Oh, Fuji.
Yes, yeah. Fuji.
You just learn, and then you realize that you can do anything, no matter where you are.
100%.
Oh my goodness, Jade, thank you so much
course,
for coming
thank
on.
you.
Seriously, it's been so encouraging and inspiring and just eye-opening for a lot of people to hear about your journey.
Yeah.
And the work that you
goal.
put in. Again,
Thank you.
people see the stuff on Instagram and they're
Right.
like, "Oh man, this
It's
this must have been
it's
so
surface.
easy."
Yeah.
But no, you put in the work. I mean,
Thank
6-8
you.
hours when you're younger every single day. And if you guys want to follow her after the show, again, on Instagram at JadeBug98. She posts, what, 2 or 3 videos a week?
Yeah, at a minimum, I think. I don't know. I've been taking a lot of class lately. I at least post on Instagram every day.
Yeah, and it's incredible. And you do live chats on there with people
Yes.
on Twitter at Jade Chynoweth and also on YouTube. And then obviously on your website and Fit to Be It, you're reaching out and building that community,
Yes.
which is fantastic. And guys, you can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter at The Only MC. Plug Popcorn Talk because they are amazing guys at the Popcorn Talk on Instagram and Twitter. We're so thankful. This has been season 2. I could never be. We wrapped it up. What an incredible show. What an incredible guest to wrap up. Hopefully you guys learned something. You felt encouraged, motivated, inspired. Guys, go out, live your best life. And again, as we talked about at the top of the show, find someone with differing views, with opposing views. Give them a compliment. Show them some love. Bring the world together. We'll see you guys next time.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.